I am live. Oh, thanks for anyone stopping by. Lee's gonna be on in a little bit. He was running a little behind, and then I decided to start early just so I could talk about some of the pictures that were submitted. Because as usual, there's some really cool ones, uh, like this. Chaos Born Gaming submitted this one I think the other week too, and I just thought it was so beautiful. I this was like my favorite angle out of them. That one's really good too. I do wish, and I think this kind of goes for most cases, it's always almost that up angle. Like I think this one is pretty near perfect and I really like it. I do wish if the camera was just a little lower, I think it would even show off like the wings, like they're above you and it's towering over you. That's always such a strong thing. So I just, especially if you enjoy my work and sending in pics, please consider that up angle on almost every mini because it always makes them look more imposing, like they have the high ground. Oh, and I almost did. So there were so many. I was gonna go for like easy ones. I'm like, I want some easy ones. I'm like, I'll just take two. And so it was super close to this. I saw these two, and Blast from the Past has one of the. I didn't end up picking up. I did one not too long ago of his, I believe, but this one was perfect. A nice up angle, and the units are obviously made to kind of go together, but even in that line they were arranged perfect for me. There's like some awesome composition going on, and the nice white background helps me because even though there's a bunch of models, I could, you don't need a crazy background. There's not a lot of detail. It's mostly like color and stuff. So this would be kind of perfect for a paint over. I might end up doing it anyway. Um, Same thing almost with this one. Man, if it was just a little more, see the difference between these two pictures as far as the lower camera angle. The top one, the orcs, you are like underneath them, so they're really coming to launch that. Like that center one's gonna hit you in the head with the axe. This one here, you kind of have the high ground. You're looking down on its head, so it doesn't look as imposing as it could be. And that's like super picky, but for an actual paint over when you're trying to make a really strong composition, just that little bit of angle shift goes a long, long way because that like the composition is basically the foundation of everything. Hey, Eros, thanks for making it. It's been fun chatting with you in Discord. Hope all is well on the Swedish side of things. What else do we have? Hadriatus. Oh, he has some good ones. The and it was these two. If I would have done already a few for him, I love the flyers and I like just this the angle and everything about this. It's also this one would work in a horizontal format. So if I wanted to do the video, it would be a good one for like a video time lapse replay. And I could do a lot with just a little, because it's an aerial view, so I could do some cool stuff in there. And this works a lot for me. Same with I've interacted with Hadrianus a lot, and look at this. So this is an upshot. Look at how like that claw with the grinders, it's above you. You're looking up at this. It just makes it so much more imposing. And this even has some interesting light going on. It has some shadow underneath there and some light on it. So it creates a lot of depth. I think this is one of the best ones submitted for that. This one cracked me up. and for I after I was looking at it, I was like, oh, they look like they're like shooting bottles off the post or whatever. So you'll see what I started doing, even though I don't know how strong of a paint over it'll make. You know what I mean? Compared to, and even I was gonna, one of these, like this is another awesome photo. So see this looking up at this unit. So he's looking directly at you, plus the bike is zipping by. So this is another type of picture that would make a great paint over. The Crozarius, or however it's pronounced, is nice and high up in the image. I could have it glowing and all that, so that would make it it would probably make a better paint over than this one, but this one just cracked me up. I was like, and then I got all like, well, could I pull it off? And what kind of background? And where's my horizon line? And I started to like didn't know if I'd be able to do it, and so then that's usually when I just say, okay, just do it and try to figure it out. And if it's not the best, then so be it. At least you learn something. Ed Smith. Oh, this is I just really like this one, and I think because of the color scheme, I could get a cool different type of like background in there. I had not recently, but maybe a few months ago, done one for ads. I was like, well, I want to try to give someone else, like a chance. But this is another one. It in this one too, looking up at it, but it makes that sword look towering, and the same reason. They, if you look at almost all GW artwork book covers, they're always kind of you're looking up at something because they want to push that perspective. Mechanical Frog, thanks for making it. Saying rat can everywhere these days. I know. Hope it's a good day so far. All right, what else? This I don't even know what this is. Which so direct misfire says not a white background, but here's Selec's Mantic Game Zombie Legion. I think Selec is one of the. I think they have like a. I'm not sure. Not. I don't know if it's Hobby Group or YouTube, but matter of fact, I should check it out. I think they have a YouTube channel, and there's a couple like 3 hosts or so. So I hope I'm getting that right. But look at these things. I never saw these zombies, and these have some great action to them. That is, I love this photo. I was like, well, what I like is the different amounts of blur on some of the zombies. Like it really draws your eye to that line. Look at that. That's so cool. I don't even think I've ever saw these. I don't. He said they're Mantic. I don't remember. I don't. I just haven't seen like a box set or anything. But these I thought were incredible. And I thought about like a background in here, but because of the blur, it might all get tricky. But that's an amazing photo. I think that's the full thing. I maybe it's for the Mantic game for the Walking Dead. I think they got a game for that. So, oh, see this one I ended up because I liked this flyer, and you'll see I have 2 different versions of this. It's like just that's an incredible photo to me. It's got like the just the perspective. It's got the angle. It's got everything going on with it that I like in like those flying ones. Really cool one. I love homebrew. I same thing. I wish that camera was lower. So, you could almost take this exact same angle. Always try to avoid like chest on. You don't want your model to look like totally flat, but you lower that and be looking up at this cool model. Another one. There's a couple in here. She has like her hand. So first I thought, okay, I could really like do some amp up the lighting like on her hips and hair and really make it like glow and pop. And then the way she has her hand, like I don't know if she's a spellcaster or not, but have kind of something curling up from her hand like she's summoning something. Hello, Spook. Thanks for making it. And same. Look at this thing. I don't know what. I don't know if it's anime. I don't know if it's from a game, but the photos are awesome, and same with the paint job. And look at that action in that sculpt. That is so comic book. Like I was thinking of really comic book coloring it up and put like some speed lines, almost like you'd see in an anime. I think that would be really cool on that one. I just don't have enough time on Free Painter Day. Toby, who watched with us last week, I think I did his paint over last week. We had talked about a solar engine for one of those. I didn't know these were so big. I guess I should have figured the thing's massive. Model it after that. It's awesome. Okay. Thank you, Mechanical Frog. He says it's from anime. My son watches it. Archmagos, I believe I remember there was something about his color scheme. I don't know what it's like this really bright contrast, like the contrast of the really dark and the really bright, and I dig it. And it's not something I usually encounter, so one of these days I'm going to have to mess with one of Archmagos's. He says, I know it doesn't have an upward facing angle. Thank you for at least, remembering or whatever. And yes, it would help this. I could almost make this one work because it has the, like, the, not the tendrils, but the piping or whatever. So I might be able to put it like all walking through a bunch of piping in the background and stuff and kind of stress the background more. I think that's it. Sometimes some skip out, but I just wanted to go over all those because I appreciate everyone who sends them in and at least, give some feedback as far as what works for paint over stuff. Not necessarily that makes the best photo ever, but it does help me. Okay, so that's from the comic book called My Hero Academia. Yeah, this one was cool. I'm gonna look at it again. Oh wait, there's another one. Yeah, that is just. I love the photo format. That is, and that it's so crisp. They have good focus on this. On that one, I think it's Domino. Yeah, it's got to be Domino. Okay, it's got the X belt. Actually, you could quite do. You could painting this one over. I could really go into that smoke. You know what I mean, and really play that up, so you could actually get a real good image out of that. Again, good photo angles. That first one's really good. Right now, oh wait, I gotta take that off. Forgetting my. Oh, I forgot all about that. Spook. No, I have not looked at the Night Lords. And why is this thing up? I have like the Twitter. The worst. All right, time to get to work a little bit. So this is one of them. I started out. Um, started out this way. I'll show the time lapse. And in a perfect world, if I had more time, whatever, I would have this dive bombing. Like you would be in dropping some sort of like bomb on units fighting on the ground. So I'd probably need like, more photos and stuff for that. And it would take longer. But I was trying to like do it flying and maybe they bombed. And I'm like, okay, this looks up really high. And I was debating going, I could raise the forest canopy so it looked closer. And I don't know because the original, in my mind, it's like swooping down and dropping a bomb, and it'd be nice to have the explosion going off beneath it in this type of composition. And then I sort of changed it, and I don't know if I'll go with this one. Like I could see it's like, and I was literally took the tree branch from the ground on that model and wanted to go that height, almost like it was maybe it's half damaged and swooping super low, and you can't tell if it's going to be able to pull up or not. And so I don't know. I don't know what to do on that. So I don't know which one of those two to work on. That's what I did for these nights. I don't know about pulling off the lighting on this because I grabbed I don't know if it's one or two photos. I can't remember, but just for the background, I was like, okay, that horizon line seems to work. And I was looking up bottles on a railing. I was like, I don't want to just draw all bottles on a railing. It takes too much time. So if I have a photo, I can pop it up. And what's funny is it worked out like compositionally. I I wanted to have that one firing and like breaking the bottle. And because everything is so light and I'm used to working dark, I'm like, oh gosh, I have to get, good with the lighting and the contrast between the units and the ground and stuff. So there's a lot of little things that I would have to tweak in here. And so I'm not sure, I'm going to try, but we'll see how far it goes. Chaosborn Gaming, thanks. Yeah, that the Goblin. Yeah, I love this vehicle. I don't know if it was a glider. I think I messaged him. It was like, does it have an engine? Is it? I don't think it's engine because it's like fantasy based, So it might be like a glider, but that is a great pick. And I would assume they're going to drop stuff out of the plane, so that's why I was thinking like explosion or whatever beneath it. But I don't know on Mantic's rules how these work, which is another reason I want to read more up on it. And I love this one. So that's how far I got on this. I wanted to put some, like glow or whatever coming off those wings. Like it was like, and spreading the wings. So I'm going to work on that one. I still don't know what I'm going to do between these two. Because, what did I do on here? At some point I even had, but that's too high. Like that's when I think I'm like, oh, that's too high. And this is like a photo, and then I reversed it and wait, I did this one, and then I reversed it and slapped it over, so it's like the same photo just reversed, and then Chaosborn Gaming, probably launched by a Catapult or something. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Let's duplicate this. Like I wanted it across with this. So having it closer to the ground, if I, had the units, that this would be a good one because you have the battle kind of right below it, and they're flying over, and you can put the stuff flying through the air at them and everything. But on free paint over day, you can only get so much done. I might have to put my pen tip silencer on. See, that's just too bright. I'll put my pen silencer on. There. See, and then to use this vertical composition, I would need it. I would need stuff down below. I need a fight or a whatever that they're flying over to really make it work. And so I might rearrange the, just kind of crop it just to get the effect of flying. Yeah, like that. And I could probably, this is square, I could probably even make it vertical and have some blur. But then I think about this one, and maybe I put more stuff in the ground. and that's why I should have chose one of the like the easier ones. I mean, this one's not. It's not like it's that hard, but this is one where I would really want to make some cool effects on it. And some leaves. Yeah, that'll work. Welcome back, Toppy Troll. I see Spook's been busy reading. No, he's just running a little late, Toppy Troll. He'll probably be in here in the next, whatever, 15 minutes or so. Darn reality getting in the way of good live streams. And see, that's what's killer about the indecision. I don't know which one I should go with. Either way, it seems like the other one's simpler, but I might go that way, and it probably looks better. Just do more of the clouds and stuff, and call it good instead of worried about doing the most epic version of it I can. And I make sure he's not like dropped in and I'm not seeing him. No, because up here is audio. And I gotta do some serious light studies and brush up on a bunch of stuff. Select and go there. I want to put some more highlights on this so it even pulls it. Well, wrong color. I want to have it a little more like the sun is bouncing on this. And lighten it up just a bit so that it comes more forward. Oh, guess who's here? 1, 2, dun dun dun. Yeah.
Pesky Titans coming round here, making enough racket.
Hello. Wait, let me go back here. Someone just asked something. What did they ask? Anyone read any new books lately? No, I have not, but funny enough, I just looked at my Audible earlier and was deciding which one to play next.
Um,
I
I'm
don't do
listening
much reading.
to books.
Not anymore.
As actually, there's quite a good one on Audible. It'll only cost you 1 credit.
Which one?
Um, it's called The Magitech Chronicles by Chris Fox. A friend of mine on our sort of like my friends group WhatsApp sort of thing
Yeah.
sort of suggested it, and one of my other friends looked into it and immediately come back and said it's only going to cost 1 credit, but you get they do like a compilation. It's like 62 hours of the
Oh my
six. So bargain.
god.
So
That's
I've been
crazy.
listening to that for the last day or two. It's all right. Yeah, it's different from what I normally.
Okay, right on.
It's sort of space mages, space dragons, spells, technology that uses spells to power the engines of the ships and weapons,
Okay, yeah.
all that shenanigans, and there's deities intermingled as well. So it's yeah, definitely different
A
from my
little bit of
usual.
everything. There was a I don't know what made me think of this, but kind of this flying thing. I don't know if it was the 90s, maybe early 90s, maybe mid 90s. I don't know, somewhere in the 90s. And there was a comic book. The artist's name was Cam Kennedy, and he did a cool one called Light and Darkness War. And they had it. They had regular, like, you know how they do the a ship that's built for the sea, but they have them flying in the air type of deal. You know what I mean? So they did that type of thing, but like they were powered floating by like this kind of psyker person. You know what I mean? Like in the hull, and that's what kept it afloat. And the art was really cool for it and everything. And just like I always liked that one, and I thought it's probably one of those properties that never it was kind of obscure then, you know, just the style and everything was worked in, but it was like a really cool story and everything. Nice,
There's
like a lot of good stuff.
reminiscent of like steampunk with the
Yeah,
sort of
yeah, it
air
was
stuff.
what I think it was is it was about some Vietnam soldier who died, and then when you died you went to this whatever like place, you know, and then it was like got involved in the light and darkness war, so he was trying to, like, whatever was going on in that plane was like trying to get back, and it was just I should reread that.
There's sort of Jacob's Ladder for a second there.
Yeah.
That
What
was a
have you been
pretty
up to, man? Anything?
work.
Work. Does it
um,
I
yeah.
assume it's a little bit seasonal, like a little bit, like as everyone tries to get stuff. No, so in the winter they're still trying
Back
to.
in the good old days of pre-COVID land,
Uh-huh.
yes, it was sort of seasonal. You could you know set your clock by it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but since then, because obviously COVID and a bit of Brexit in there as well,
Hmm.
because people weren't going away on holidays and stuff. They've been doing a lot of DIY around
Yeah.
the house and improvements and stuff. So when I have been at work, so obviously we're not on furlough, um,
Yeah.
the people coming in, we have been as busy as we would be normally at Christmas time, which is our busiest time of year. But
Oh,
that's
wow.
throughout
Is
the
it interesting?
so it's very tiresome. And at the moment, my boss is off for a few days, so I am on my own running the store, and the traffic has been horrendous going into work and getting home from work. So I'm having to leave extra early just to get to
Mm,
work on time, and then
yeah.
it's taking longer to get home, like tonight. So yes,
Says it
yeah,
all.
yes. So yeah, not having a lot of so literally when I'm getting in, I'm just tired. So
Yeah.
it's yeah. I've been having early nights, but then it doesn't really matter because I'm getting up early anyway. So
Yeah.
yes. What have you been up to anyway, apart from painting lots of stuff?
Um, what have I been up to? I forgot. I'm supposed to go up north. I think like 7 days next week. I think I'll get the Wednesday show. I think I'm heading out Thursday and maybe spending like 6 days. I think I won't miss the show. It might work out perfect. I would like leave on a Thursday and come back like on a Tuesday, I think, or something. So I
So
I just
that speaks
I forgot
volumes.
I got to get a bunch of stuff ready.
Great show.
So I just got to get a bunch of real world stuff ready that I like totally forgot about. And so I was kind of all scatterbrained for the day. It was a good day. A couple other nights I didn't sleep that well. Until last night I slept really good, so I was like, all right, I'm like take advantage. I'm like get some stuff done. I did morning work and did a few other things, and then I got to work on some of these paintovers to try to do something cool for the stream.
And that is a mighty fine little gobbo flyer type thing. There.
Yeah, I really like this one from the Mantic Goblin Army or
It
whatever.
actually looks quite realistic, obviously, with the background.
Yeah.
it's, it's a cross between Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and the start of Raiders of the Lost Ark when they're trying to fly away from the tribes people.
Yeah. It's like we think it's a glider, so I'm like I can't put any like smoke or any what I mean coming out the back or whatever. But I'm gonna try to do some like clouds over the wings or something. Just give it a little more
Hmm.
depth.
But it's too low for contrast.
Yeah. Do you do you get your do you have the weekend off? Do you get to do anything? You got anything planned?
I'm working straight through until my day off next Tuesday.
Oh, dude, you are busy.
Gosh. So yeah. So it's not fun.
Yeah. Hey,
But it has to be done.
yeah, that's it. It'll pay the bills.
Mm,
All those
yeah.
all those Titans ain't cheaply.
No. On my well, I noticed the other day I was getting a lot of sort of because of the excessive amounts of driving and idling. I noticed there was some sort of steam coming out of the bonnet. So I know
Yeah.
what it is. Where my coolant tank is got a leak, so when it's getting on, it's going out onto a hot. It's like it's squirting out somewhere and not
Yeah. Oh,
heats up.
that's a pain.
Which is annoying because the exact same thing happened last year after I had my MOT on my car.
Okay.
Because I went to the same place again and same thing's happening. I replaced it last year, so it's just like, one
One thing after another.
very, yeah. I'm not liking the sound of it. I don't trust mechanics at the best of times because every time I go to them, I always seem to be, paying out for stuff, and
Yeah.
um, I've had some bad experiences with mechanics where they've done work and then things have gone even worse afterwards. So,
Hmm.
and there's only so much you can do.
It is. That's one of those things. Like a good mechanic that you can like trust is like one of those like super useful people in life. It's like
Yeah,
even if you're a good mechanic, people can trust. You're probably pretty much set for life. Honestly, you know what I mean. As many people as cars, and if you knew your job, like dude, you be that person, and
yeah,
everyone's gonna need you.
yeah. No, I was just say I'm a little bit sort of skeptical and stuff when I say it's exactly the same sort of thing that happened last year, where the coolant tank was leaking, and they said, "Oh yeah, it's the cap."
Oh yeah, that's a
It's the
pain.
cap. And then afterwards, they had to replace the tank. So that was a couple of £100 extra that I wasn't anticipating.
Oh
But
god,
thing, it just seems a little bit odd.
that reminds me. One time, I bought some used. I had a used car. I was all fine with it. I'm driving down the expressway, and I'm in this really busy spot, And it was the weirdest thing in the expressway. It was a part where the expressway, you're only going one way, right? But it was like 4 or 5 lanes, some crazy amount of lanes. But the expressway itself split, and it wasn't split to go anywhere. It just split, and then it came back together because you were on a bridge area. So the split probably only lasted, I don't even know what, like a half a mile or something. And the brake lines went out on the car coming right up to that split. And it was like the brake lines went on, like not the brake lines, the gas line. So the gas line thing, so all the power's kind of, you're like do 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 do, and you're just like coasting, like, oh gosh. And then I didn't know if I should go right or left because there was no stopping. You know what I mean? There was no like set spot, and there was a little sliver right, in front of where the wall where the thing would split. So I just came to a rest there, and I'm like, oh God help me, because it was just like Mach 100 on both sides, and people get all confused because they don't know if they're going left or right at this spot because it's just a made up split. Everyone always thinks, well, where's it going? You know what I mean? You never like see a split in the highway for no reason. They just reemerge later. So everyone's whipping past on both angles. I was like, oh gosh. So I was glad to get out of there.
Yeah, they're not fun.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab something for the dog. I'll be right back. I will. I don't have a time lapse to hit. I'll be right
Tello Toffee, Eutychus, Hive Mind, Goat Head, obviously. Sound like a World of Warcraft. Is it World of Warcraft? WOW? I'm assuming so. So I am absolute. I've not even had any dinner tonight. I've got no beer either. So this is soberly. I'll do my best. Need to put some base coats on my KT models. Well, that's what you got to do then. Get those kill team dudes sorted out. Eutychus will work on my Age of Sigmar. What's your Sigmar army? Are you actually Sigmarines, or are you one of the many other awesome armies within Sigmar? I don't play Sigmar. If you're new to this and seeing me babble, I have some Ionef Deepkin, which I bought as a pure sort of palette cleanser project, because I just find the idea of elves walking fish hilarious. So I've done a few of them when they came out. Details cost the most, especially since Titans got boosted in price. Yes, in all sorts of ways, in costs, small ones, big ones, in between ones, and points in game as well. Yes, this man's double senses when he's streaming. Oh yeah, those Sauruses. They're pretty cool. Like the old big dude sitting there meditating on his floaty rocks. Toad dude. Yeah, I do like them. They're little skinks and stuff with the little like blowpipes. They're pretty cool. Yes. So I hope you're all cool, and I wonder what he's doing with this dog, because he's not normally gone this long. He's throwing stuff at it, obviously, or letting him out, or opening a can really slowly, teasing the pooch, getting that food out. And yes, it's really weird not being. Oh, you're back. I was really struggling back. I was really struggling. A Soros. How am I mispronouncing this? Saros? I've seen it a million times, played with it a million times since I was a little kid. I still can't pronounce Saurus. Saurus? I should say Taurus.
Saurus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. so I guess I could. I knew I had it in me.
Yeah.
I knew
you're evolving. You're evolving.
I knew I could read. Yeah, the dog is psychic. I think probably because he hears me talking, and then it's like, who's he talking to? What's going on? And then like all comes in there. It goes without fail.
Yes, he knows. He knows what's going on.
Hey, Goathead, thanks for making it. Awesome models out there. You guys put out some great work.
Frosh.
I briefly went over some of the. I started like 15 minutes early, and I went over some of the like submissions, and just kind of talked
All
about
right.
what helps and what makes a good paint over and all that kind of stuff.
Right. So what ones are you actually painting over tonight? Then?
I'm doing this one, which I tried two different ways, and then this is the
Mm-hmm.
one I started with because they submitted this before, and those wings are amazing.
Hmm.
So I want to try to do that one. And then this one just cracks me up. So it was the 5 linemen, and I wanted to, the 5 gunners from the old school. I'm like, all right, I'm going to make them shooting bottles. I don't know how I'm going to pull this off because the lighting's just, it's so not what I do
Yeah.
really. So I was like, okay, I'm like, just try it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Well,
so
you
I'm
should
going to.
always put like he's fired and there's like this puff of smoke
That's
from
what I
because
was going to do. I wanted to have one of the bottles. Oh, you can't see. I wanted to have that bottle way on the right, kind of breaking from that middle guy, like he
yeah.
shot it. So I was going to try that. I just love. I was like, well, I'm like, it looks like. I'm like, when I saw the photo, I'm like, well, I'm like, it looks like they're like in a firing line, but they're not like all serious about it. So I'm like, it looks like they're practicing.
Well, it's like one of those fairground rifles when you're doing the the fairground shooting for prizes.
Totally.
It's like he's at
And
the center one,
like, I
and he
wanted to
hits
leave it
one
like
on
this
the
because
left.
they're so ridiculously close shooting at the bottles.
Mm. It is like a fair.
Yeah.
Smash up the sight so you can't actually use the sights properly. But I always remember there was this. I went many years ago with one of these fairground attractions.
Yeah.
They had 8 little metal things. It was a box, and they had 8 little targets, like man-shaped targets.
Yeah.
And when you hit them, they fly backwards.
Okay.
And with his air rifle, it was like a pound a go, and you got 6 pellets.
Okay.
But I got all 8 down. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm a sniper with a broken sighted bloody air rifle.
Oh god,
Yeah.
I had a BB gun when I was a little kid, and I used to. I mean, I don't know how young I was, but what I would do is I would set up. I would bite and eat an apple and put the core out, and I would put
Mm.
it far. I would put it as far as I could because you're like a kid and I had nothing going on. I just sit by myself. I would put as far as I could, and I would wait for flies to land. And with a BB gun, I would shoot flies off the apple core. That was my, that's what, because I was like, I want to see if you can do it. I'm like, there's no way. And then like, you're just young, so you're shooting. I'm like, oh my, and I had to put at first I think I was doing it in the grass, but then you could never tell. So you had to put something down first, like cardboard, and then put the apple. So then you could see if you actually got a fly. But you can shoot a fly with a BB gun.
No. Well, you did. We had, when I was much younger, so when I was in my teens, down the street that I live, we had like there was one kid who was older than me called Richard, and then it was me, and then it was like a 2-year separation to the next couple of kids that was in our group, and then there was a
Yeah.
few kids younger, sort of thing. So it was a whole sort of arrangement of kids going down to about sort of 5 or 6 that used to sort of hang out with the street kids,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them, Ryan, he was about 6, basically. He was like the
Mm-hmm.
youngest of us. Yeah. And there was this kid at a neighbouring street. He was a bit of a bully. He was called David. And he had, as we was mucking about in the street, he found this old, like, rusty sort of like saw blade. It was blunt, but he sort of ran it across Ryan's head. And Ryan was 6. So he's gone, ah,
Yeah.
and sort of thing. Didn't draw blood or anything like that, but he was just being a right ass,
Yeah.
basically. And Ryan's gone running into his house, his back garden, where he had older brothers, and his older brother Brett was with his friend doing target practice with a pellet gun,
Mm-hmm.
what we called a gat gun. It looked like like a
Yeah.
special World War II silenced pistol type thing.
Yeah.
And so they gave it to him, but they put the safety on. And they said, "Oh yeah, just go, threaten David with this sort of thing." That was scary.
Oh God.
So Ryan's gone out there with this gat gun, but he's flicked the safety off, and he's gone up to David and he's gone, "F," pulled the gun up, shot him right between the eyes, right there.
Oh, dude, so not cool.
And so, yeah, it's just David has gone running home because he's been shot point blank right between the eyes with a pellet gun. Is not fun, and basically
No, that's
there
dangerous.
for weeks from where he got shot.
Oh man, everyone got in trouble. So you were the troublemakers?
No, we was like, oh my god, did that just happen? It was like proper Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, no doubt.
And like David
Well,
was
I
about
did one. I went. Oh my god, this was another '90s. We went in this one store that opened. It was like one of those huge stores, and they just started getting them around the '90s, and they had mace hanging from the aisleways, like spray mace, and I'd never seen it like in a store or like I'm like mace, and I'm like, my friend is like, he's probably, I don't know, I want to say like 8 feet, maybe 10 feet away from me, and the thing is hanging in the aisle, so it's just like an open cap, open tongue, and it's like kind of like hanging by a chain in the aisle. So I just kind of lift it up and twist it, and I'm like, "Hey, can I spray you with this?" And I'm thinking he's 10 feet away, and I'm thinking it comes out like in a cloud, And I'm like, "Oh, this will like come up short of him. This will, and he goes, "Yeah." So as soon as he said, "Yeah," I squeeze it. A straight laser beam of that stuff sprays out and hits him. And I wasn't aiming seriously. I was like just pressing it. And it happened to be aimed directly at his face. And it literally hit him in the face. I'm like, oh, dude. Because my arm was like down by my side. I didn't even think it's going to reach. So I wasn't like trying to hit him, but it's still just directly in the face in the store. So then, and I had to, I'm like, oh gosh. And he can't see. And I'm like, all right, there's a bathroom in here. So we're like going through the hallway. I'm like, who leaves mace hanging out in the middle of the store like that? Someone's going to press it. What's wrong with these people?
Oh, right. It was perfume. Oh.
And I'm the only good thing I was like, he said yeah. I'm like, dude, you said yeah, so you can't be mad.
Your fault. That's on you.
Yeah, dude.
And where we was like the sort of like the get along gang sort of thing. We would go out on adventures over the forests and stuff. Like and build camps. It was fairly. We may have done the. Well, I say break and enter, but like we'd find like building sites where they're building new houses, and we would go into them and go round these houses when all the people weren't there, and all the when we're finished for the day or the weekend. Or where we go on adventures, we'd find abandoned houses and go into them because that seemed like the thing to do. Abandoned, decommissioned schools. We used to go in.
Yeah, that stuff was
Yeah, so it was proper scary, creepy at times, but that's what you did.
Yeah.
There was actually when I was a teenager, a group of kids at college said, "Oh, we're going to go out somewhere. Do you want to come along?" I just went, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So we all went out, 2 carloads of teenagers, and we were going to a place called Cops Hall, which was this big old manor house, which is basically. The insides are collapsed, and apparently there were like catacombs underneath this building. So we had to park the cars somewhere. We had to go through this field, and then we had to cross the road that is known as the M25, which is the motorway that goes around London. So we had to cross across that, overside, So we're playing Frogger literally across the motorway to get to the other side, and we go up and we walk along, and then suddenly we hear a car, so we all duck and cover, and there's this Land Rover goes past. And what it is, we were actually trespassing on Rod Stewart's estate. A Rod Stewart had a ranch type building behind this Cops Hall. So we've gone walking up to this this big old abandoned manor house.
Yeah.
Looked in, we thought, well, yeah, I can see it was dark. I can see tunnels, but I'm not climbing down there.
Yeah.
We found this old outbuilding which other people have obviously been to and performed satanic rituals because like pentagrams on the floor.
So
and,
yeah, some kids or whatever screw around. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we're going, oh, this is a bit creepy. We've gone walking around exploring the place, and I thought, I know, I'm going to be funny, and I threw picked up a stone or a twig, threw it, like it's made a noise, and everyone goes,
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh my god, there's somebody here, and I've just gone, no, it's me. It was me. Don't worry, it's okay. And then we carried on, and I'm at the back of the group, so I can see everybody. And then there was another noise, and they've all turned around to me, and I've just gone, that wasn't me, and I've just bolted.
I'm out. Hey, Soggy Chips, thanks for making it. Those look familiar.
Hey, Soggy.
Yeah, I wanted to do something a little, just a little different with these, so I was trying something. And Toffee Troll says, now my Creek guards have some undercoat so I can do some magic during the stream. Right on. Toffee's been working. He's been working on these quite a bit in his evening, so he's probably getting some good stuff done.
Yeah, if you've got the time to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Get on, do it. I have no time. No time for hobby.
Yeah, I'm just glad. I'm glad you can make the show, so that's good.
Oh, I wasn't going to miss Wednesday night. No,
Did you even get to eat anything? Did you get to eat something? Oh, you're too dedicated to the cause, man.
I like to think I'm a professional. So I'm so.
If there's one thing we take seriously, it's the stream with like 10 viewers on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hey, because I appreciate, like, I try, because I mean, if someone's gonna spend their time with you watching, you gotta at least do something.
We've got to do something. Yeah. Keep the troops entertained.
Yeah. Wait a second. When is that?
Well,
I don't know. I'm always skeptical. So when is that? Do you know when that new Matrix is supposed to come out?
I
can't remember. December? I don't know what made me think of that.
There's something coming out in December.
It probably is then.
Because June, I don't know. June was meant to be sort of November, but apparently there's been sort of screenings somewhere because it's earned about 36 million in the first couple of days.
Yeah, I've heard about that. They've been screening it. Yeah.
So it's there's that. This week on Apple TV, Foundation starts.
No, I saw that. I'm gonna. Yeah,
the first episodes apparently are dropping tomorrow or Friday. So I'm not sure which day, but that's happening. The Eye of the World or stuff should be the Wheel of Time stuff should be starting, I think, next month.
Okay.
That's dropping. Trying to think what else is going off.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Foundation. I'm curious because I didn't read any. I'm not any Asimov, but I didn't read that Asimov, so I'm just kind of curious.
I used my Audible credits for for
you
Foundation.
Did?
Yeah, Foundation. What's this? Second Foundation, Empire and Foundation, and Second Foundation.
Okay.
It's the three main ones, but then there are other stuff. As Yeticus has just mentioned, there's a new Star Wars series. There's a new Star Wars series out today, which is not really a series. It's Star Wars Visions. It's anime Star Wars. They've got about anime shorts in the Star Wars universe. So several.
Really? I didn't know that. Where did that come out? Disney, I assume.
Yeah, Disney Channel. Yeah.
Okay.
That was out today. What else is there?
They're
What's
really going for it with those shows. Like, I mean, what they saw the success of some of them, so then they're like, because like Wheel of Time is huge, Foundation is huge, like all that stuff's huge,
mm,
and
oh,
they seem
bless you.
like they're trying to get it. So I'm like, okay, hopefully some of these are decent.
Yeah, we'll say you've got what Eutychus. What series is that for next week? Because well, they're still doing like some of the cartoons, like Bad Batch. I think is still going.
Yeah,
But I haven't watched that because I haven't watched Clone Wars. I did start watching Clone Wars, so I can get sort of an
acclimated.
understanding of where they're coming from in Bad Batch. So I haven't watched Rebels either, so I don't know what I'm doing. um, I'm actually rewatching the Expanse. I'm just finishing off season 4.
Are
Um,
you?
yes, caught it.
There was I did like Expanse. Expanse was a good show.
Yeah. So yes, I'm going back through that and catching up with The Walking Dead as well. Um,
You know, when did I end up? I can't remember when I ended up stopping The Walking Dead. I should like pick it up and whatever. I think I ended up stopping Walking Dead right around when the other series came out with. They came out with it. I don't know why. It was like,
yeah, Fear the Walking Dead I enjoy as well. It's obviously same
yeah, they
thing,
were
but
solid too. That's what I'm like. I think with me, it's like I almost prefer. I mean, that one seemed to go on a little long. I think I don't know what it is. It seems like a good show to me kind of wraps it up in like 4 years or 3 years or something. You know what I mean? It's almost like you kind of drag a little bit if you don't, or they go through their phase where weird stuff happens or whatever. And I don't have any serious knock for Walking Dead, so I probably would go back and watch it. I think I was just watching it and kind of got like, okay, that's a lot of it, but I
that's
still might
sort
go
of,
finish it.
sort of stuff like that. Like Supernatural was really set to do 5 years. That was its sort of story, its main story
Mhm.
arc, 5 years, and they did that. But because they were so popular, they kept on basically, oh no, you got to go on, and so obviously it progressed, but it wasn't in the same sort of vein as those first 5 seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
Same with Lost. Lost was set for a set amount of
Yeah,
years.
Lost. I wanted to like Lost, and I'm like, dude, nothing gets resolved ever. I'm like, maybe I'm dumb and don't know how to watch TV, but that just seemed like, ooh, mystery. And then what? You don't know anything about that, or why was that there? No one knows. Just go with it. It's like, wait,
Uh,
that's what it felt like.
well, at least with the Expanse, they've obviously they're finishing up next season.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
in regards to the book series, um,
Maybe I should.
next season, book 6 would be a good place to finish it anyway because of it resolves everything in the earlier parts. Because the follow-on books, there's a huge jump in time. It's like 30
Oh
years.
yeah, so that's kind of like a natural stopping point.
Yeah. So when Amazon said, "Oh, next season will be the last season," so it's just like, all right, that's fair because obviously then there's this huge jump in the books, um, which
Oh, see,
that
how am I just now realizing that those were from books? How dumb am I that I didn't even, I would have, like, naturally, I should have thought they were from books, but I didn't know that.
well, he actually started off as a role play. Well, it started off as a concept for a game, a computer game that Ty
Okay.
Frank came up with, and because the game the company in question basically didn't buy the rights or something. They was going to develop it.
Yeah.
The company went into liquidation or something like that. So the game didn't get made. So he retained the rights for his creation.
Okay.
He started doing a role play game, and he was actually like a part of a team of writers that used to work with George R. R. Martin. So
Okay.
he
Yeah.
was in that little crowd, and he met Daniel Abrahams through this like authors group type thing.
Yeah.
And Daniel writes books. Ty has ideas, and stuff, and so they worked together and created The Expanse.
Huh.
So yeah, and then obviously they started doing the shows after that.
You dropping a little knowledge. Never
Mm.
Eutychus never won. Oh, Crimson. Thanks for making it, Crimson.
Yay, Crimson! My favourite Bostonian. I can say
Soggy
that.
Soggy Chips. Babylon 5 was all pre written for 5 seasons. Yeah, I got told to force it into 4 seasons, so we did. Then got to season 4 and they asked for more, which is why the 5th season is so bonkers. Yeah.
So this is why me and Sergey are friends, because he knows how it is. Babylon 5, exactly that. Straczynski had 5 seasons planned. TNT said no, all right, we're stopping it, sort of thing. So he wanted to finish it off. So he done the last 3 episodes of season 4 was the sort of the end, how he wanted to wrap it up, and then
Yeah.
they said, "Oh no, actually, you can continue." So it completely destroyed the plot line, storylines, and how the
Yeah.
flow.
When you have something plotted and schemed for that long, like that's where you're not just going to replace that, you know?
No, so it completely duffed them up, which was a shame because the first season was a bit tenuous, but it was universe building, and it set up a lot of the plots.
Yeah.
And then season 2 got better. Season 3 was awesome. Season 4 started off with was the resolution of the events of season 2 and 3, and then it was going to progress to the telepath war because of
What you know which one
and
I liked, even though it was probably a crappy show if I thought about it in retrospect. I'd have to go watch it if it was crappy or if I was just so hyped for a new one. When they came out with after Battlestar Galactica, they did like the prequel, and I actually think I remember kind of liking that. Like, I think I was so curious about the world or something. I think that's
yeah,
what it was.
Caprica was good.
Yeah,
See how they invented the
yeah. I
Cylons and
was really. That's why I wish it would have went on because I thought their take on it was really like curious. You know, I was like, okay, I want to see this, and that it was so. They were dealing with some like. I forget what they had, like the rooms that were. I forget what the technology was that they were just getting to, but it was awesome.
all. Although the one that I quite enjoyed, which was a mini series, was Blood and Chrome,
Oh
which
yeah, yeah,
Adama in William Adama in the First War, as he is a rookie pilot. So yeah,
yeah.
he gets in and does his first few missions and all that. And that was actually quite well made.
Hmm.
You know, and obviously
Well,
the
yeah,
whole.
because they were pretty successful at that point, so
Hmm.
they put some more into it, and it was good.
But that never got sort of extended or picked up, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. But yeah, that was a shame. But and then now they're saying about rebooting Babylon, not Babylon 5, Battlestar, which is a bit, kind of
I
insulting
heard that same thing. That's what. Yeah.
because like it's only been like 11 years since it finished.
Yeah.
It was a good season. I think the ending was there was only 2 ways they could have ended it, and I thought from about the actually midway to end of the first season, it's like, well, I don't think they're going to do Galactica 80 with this lot. So I
Yeah.
just thought the only thing they could do is obviously find Earth, but it's prehistoric Earth or whatever. But then that raises questions, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't mind how they ended it at all. Really, I was
Mm.
okay with that.
It was acceptable. It was, you know, I think it was. I think a lot of people got a little bit confused with the whole Cara Thrace, Angel coming back from and all that sort of jazz.
Yeah.
Because it got a bit religious. Well, it had a religious overtones anyway.
Yeah. There
Because
was. Yeah.
say we all and the 12 Lords of Kobold and all that jazz. But yeah, it was a little bit. I think it was just too much for certain people.
No, yeah, because when they start to get like too whatever metaphysical or something, you know what I mean? It can lose. It
Yeah.
just gets like,
Oh, breaky breaky.
you know,
Season one is really rough. I'm assuming that was Babylon 5 season. Yeah, because most people say that was a little bit hard. Um, but yeah, it's. I think we've spoken about it before, like where there's been like TV series where you need to sort of stick with it to get to the real good stuff.
very, yeah, that's
So like
quite
the
often.
Expanse is one because you need to get through the first few episodes um, to really sort of buy into it, sort of in general, anyway.
Yeah,
Um, Sense Eight, which is done by the Wachowskis.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, my friend Nigel, who's a very good sort of uh, a very good person to sort of speak to about like TV series. He sees things and like goes, "Oh, you'll like this." Like he knows what I like, and he said, "You'll like this."
yeah.
Really cool concept and all that. And I remember him telling me about Sense8. He goes, "Now you've got to watch the first episode, as you do, but bear with it, keep with it, because that's setting up things that are going to happen.
Gotcha.
Because it's not sort of, but yeah, he does sort of. You fall into it eventually, and the whole idea of how Sense8 works. But it was such a well made series as well. And the reason it got cancelled after 2 seasons was the expense because they were traveling all over the world to
Yeah.
film it, sort of thing.
What was I going to
Gosh.
say? I I think I told you there's some obscure little one. It's for some reason I like. There's a couple I've liked like this, and I don't know why. There was back in the day, they only ran for one season. It was called Rubicon, and it was like a CIA analyst, and there was no real gunplay or any of that, not much. It was literally like super subtle thinking stuff, but I really enjoyed it. They redid like Flight of the Condor on some station, I can't remember, and that was a pretty cool series. That was more a little more action in there, but still kind of like a little cerebral without trying to get all, some things take it too far. It's like drama everywhere, but I thought it had a good mix of like action and a little bit of mystery and resolving it. I thought that was
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Like, was it like again something like Fringe? Did you ever watch Fringe?
Yeah, I did watch Fringe. Actually, I enjoyed Fringe.
Yeah, Fringe was pretty cool, and obviously Joshua Jackson in it, which I've only through. I recently had a little moment of watching the Mighty Ducks again.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So watching Mighty Ducks 1, 2, and 3, because he plays Charlie, who's like the young kid that Emilio Estevez's character sort of befriends, and was like acts as like a father figure. So it was like young Joshua Jackson was this little blonde-haired kid who was ice skating and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but they've done it on Disney Plus. There's actually a new TV series based on the Mighty Ducks.
Wait, did I even? I'm trying to remember if I think I watched some of that. I think I might, because I think I did the same thing. So I don't know if I rewatched the full Mighty Ducks, but I know a few months back I clicked on it again and like watched some of the beginning and everything. And then
Mm.
yeah, there was a new Mighty Ducks series. I thought
Uh,
I'm gonna have to
they've
go
only
see how
done.
much I watched.
Yeah, I watched that was quite enjoyable. Again, it's just enjoyable TV. You don't have to really think into it, but you get the kooky little like
No,
characters in it.
that's what, because I'm always half drawing or doing something. That's like it's harder for me to watch even something like The Expanse because I enjoy it because I actually have to pay attention. You know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff I like the lighter ones or something that I've watched and I kind of put it on in the background. And I've still been enjoying Ted Lasso though. Ted Lasso is a good feel good.
Yeah, there was, last week's one was actually I really enjoyed last week's one with Coach Beard carrying on his little adventure.
That was pretty
uh,
fun.
yeah. um, I was just thinking of another show. Another one-season wonder, which was Space Above and Beyond.
Why do I know that name? It there's some on Netflix. It had the woman who played Starbuck on the reboot of Battlestar, and she's
Hmm.
in control of a ship, and there's an AI that kind of goes a little. It's like a rope,
Oh yeah.
and they
Yeah,
just announced the season 2 or whatever. So I was like, huh. I
yeah,
did
I didn't.
finish season 1, but I kind of forget.
Like I love Katie Sackhoff, but yeah, I just didn't get. It didn't sort of pull me in. Maybe I didn't give it enough chance. I don't
No,
know,
and
but
I, I thought the same thing, and it, I don't know. It was one of those that I thought I would have almost gave up on it, but I still ended up watching it, and then I was kind of like, okay, it did enough where I would probably watch again, even though I just don't think it was one of my favorites or anything.
mm,
It somehow had enough to like get me to keep watching.
hook you. And that's the thing. It's like when you've got certain shows and you can find characters that you can either sort of relate to or you
Yeah.
enjoy on screen and stuff. Um, oh yes, see, Soggy has seen Space and Above and and that last episode was just like, oh my god. Um, but I think they did a like little fan made thing where they've done a continuation after that. But
Space
um,
above and beyond. Then why did did you ever bring that up before that you can remember?
I probably did because it's one of my little favourites to watch
Yeah,
because
so
it's
I'm gonna have to figure something out. I'll have to check it. I don't recall
looking
it.
back at it.
I don't even
There,
have any fake memories of it. Sometimes I'll have fake memories where I think I remember. It's like I don't even have any fake memories. So that means I might have seen
you had in
it.
the start of it, you had Harley Emery in it, the drill instructor from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh
He
yeah.
was, funny enough, a drill instructor. But it's it was so different. It had a great little universe as well, where obviously Earth of the future, not too distant future, I would imagine, because everything looks similar, but we've got spaceships. We can travel to different
Yeah.
systems and colonies and stuff like that. So it's like in the earlier days of galactic spanning empire of Earth
Hmm.
type thing. But you've got like the U.S. Marine Corps, but they fly spaceships, and these guys, the main character, one of the main characters, West, who was meant to be a colonist on this ship with his love,
Okay.
and he got taken off the ship because they had to include um, these humans called in vitros. Basically,
Okay.
they were grown humans because in the past, like recent past, there was like a war between humans and AI, so artificial intelligence humans, so
Yeah.
scientific things, and they created in vitros, which were basically quickly born, bred people to help out to fight, but
Yeah.
they they weren't the greatest sort of thing. Like there's a lot of sort of
You don't want to
animosity.
rush your human production. That's one thing.
Yeah, well, because their navel was on the back of their neck, sort of thing. So
Oh.
yeah, so they don't have belly buttons; they have neck buttons. Um, but yeah, it was quite an interesting sort of setup. So you had this little bit in the background, and then he gets kicked off of the colony flight. So the only way he can get to space to try and be with her is to join the Marines. So
Okay.
he does that. And other people join the Marines, and they give them spaceships because you do. Um, when you look at like things like Top Gun and other sort of fighter piloty type things, these guys have been to college, they're educated. Oh no,
Yeah.
space beyond. You can join the Marine Corps and you can get spaceships. Yay!
Yeah.
But it was a great mix between obviously like space combat, but also they would go on missions on the ground as well.
Yeah.
Um, So, and it was really quite good. It was a good little series, as I say, but it only done the one season. But yeah, and,
They
and the last episode is so intense, as Soggy said.
I ended up watching most of what was it when JJ got a hold of Star Trek? So I watched that first Star Trek. That was a good movie. I liked that. That was a
Yeah,
good, worthy reboot in my mind. I thought they did excellent on that.
the first two were decent. I think the third one doesn't get a lot of love um, for it, but when you've got like Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan,
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah. I wanted to be. Yeah,
Peter Weller was the admiral dude. But
yeah. It had some
no,
good stuff, but yeah, I don't think it was as fluid or as clean of storytelling in that one as the first one or two. The first one in particular was just I thought was excellent.
yeah, yeah, no, I did enjoy that one, Star Trek. It was the whole like Carl Urban as Bones was just perfect. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
and Zachary Quinto
No,
as
that's I
Spock.
think yeah, I really enjoyed the casting on that. I thought it was pretty I don't remember the
It's
actor's
such
name who
a
plays Sulu, but I really dig that actor.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, was
so
he Henry and Kumar or something?
yeah, yeah. And I think unfortunately Chekhov was awesome, but I think the actor actually passed
No,
away.
yeah, he died. Yeah, yeah. Yeltsin. Um,
Yeah, that's not cool.
yeah, no, that was really because he was really, really good as Chekhov. He was like he
Yeah, that's what it
excellent
was
acting.
awesome. I thought I loved that
And
character.
even he played in I think it was in the Terminator, um, one of the Terminator movies. He played a young Carl Reese, and
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
he was like a young Michael Bion, and I was like, oh my god, he's just awesome. But unfortunately, yeah. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, that's another note to do everything while you can because if it's going to happen to someone that young.
yeah. No, I wasn't laughing at Anton Yelchin. It was
Oh no, no, I
so
know that. I'm just
he's blame me for reminding me about those things. Yeah. they're, they're great TV series, and there is a lot of love. There was one TV series that the first season or so was really awesome, and it was called Andromeda, which would
I know
had
something about that or
Kevin Sorbo,
something.
Kevin Sorbo, who played Hercules, was Captain Dylan Hunt of the High Guard. He was basically like a version of Buck Rogers because he gets stuck in time
Yeah.
at the event horizon.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, yeah. See, how come they never did? It was Buck Rogers who had Tweaky, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like, I'm surprised they never did Buck Rogers over.
yeah. That would be pretty cool if they imaged Buck Rogers or even Flash Gordon to a certain
That's
extent.
what no, that's I mean. Those are antiquated. Those are like they were subject a lot to that time. So I think you could up everything and have a worthy reboot. We're like, if you're rebooting Battlestar Galactica from 7 years ago, I'm like, you're not gonna like break the bar that much doing anything. Whereas like if you redid that one and you could modernize the story in the right ways and stuff, but I thought it'd be awesome.
Well, on I have Buck Rogers on my Amazon. I bought the season one, and when I was watching it, it was like, oh my god, this is like it's pure cheese, but it was still enjoyable. Like when
Yeah.
there's some sort of ambassadorial meeting, and they've got these dancers who are basically wearing like silver foil on roller skates. Woo! And, like disco music playing.
See,
Yeah,
that was I think that was like the most punishing thing about being like a nerd and like especially the early years. Like you watched decades worth of trash ass TV and movies with a lot of tinfoil and crappy paint
yeah.
jobs and buckets flipped
Well,
upside down and fake
that's
knobs. It was like I'm like I want good stuff to keep like coasting out to like because I paid for it, man. I had to watch
well,
um David Hasselhoff as Nick Shield, man. Have mercy on me. Nick Shield, Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Yeah, I was just saying because there was because when you said about all like the dodgy like tinfoil and all that, because in England we had Doctor Who, which was all that anyway,
Yeah.
and something that is tweaked my interest is Blake Seven, which Soggy's saying that he's heard that they're going to remake Blake Seven.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
they did continue certain parts, but in book form, I think. Um, So, but I'm not 100% because I watched Blake Seven, and he went for about 4 seasons, and it was I think I said it might have been well, I think it was on one of our previous shows, or it might have been on one of my on the Saturday night
Yeah.
thing. Um, was talking about it, and it was influential to a lot of writers. So like J. Michael Straczynski has mentioned about Blake Seven because it was like it killed off its main characters or some of its
Oh,
like
yeah.
major characters in it. It wasn't afraid to do that. It was very sort of nuanced and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, what's funny is, so for the longest time, I would want, like, I always bring up that one Alien Legion comic, and they killed off people way young, and it was one of those things that almost like it does affect you or makes you think about. It was like one of the few times I kind of like really connect with a story, and you're like, dude, I really like that character, and you killed them. It's like, and and then I you would see movies and shows, and then they would never kill anyone, so you lacked the drama of it. It was like, oh, like what's a
Oh
bad
yeah,
example, but A Team. You know what I mean? It's just like total everyone's it. But then, especially then after Game of Thrones, then it's like they're killing everyone. It's like there's like a glut of like, okay, we can have some people survive and still.
yeah. It's like, who's going to die now? Like I think the whole thing is like obviously the Red Wedding was the biggest.
Yeah.
Like oh my god, when that happened. But then the same can be said about when Ned Stark end of season one.
Yeah.
When that happened, like, it's
Thanks for
Sean Bean.
joining us, SMC Art. Appreciate you stopping by. He I
There
they
was
he does some Procreate. I think it's a he. Apologies if it's not. Does some Procreate and drawings on his YouTube channel. So I was like, they had some cool stuff going on in there. I watch sometimes
oh,
trying to pick up some tips and everything.
oh, of course. Well, that's what we all do.
I
We go
know.
around. It's like watching Louise Sugden on Warhammer TV. It gets how to do the masterclass painting stuff.
Have you?
Uh,
So you have been watching? Are you enjoying those master classes and stuff?
yeah, I watched them. I'll say it adds to your sort of skill set,
Yeah.
so to speak. Um,
Good.
and then the Angels of Death is actually quite good. I'm enjoying it because it's the visions of 40k space battles and
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna end up signing up soon.
so that's been enjoyable. Um, Soggy, too soon, dude. Too soon. Bran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh
was
damn.
traumatized. I think I only saw it once, and it wasn't on TV. It was I think it was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. If someone told me this before, but because at the end they like sacrificed the lion on like the altar thing or whatever. I don't know what age I was, but I was like, dude, that is messed up. And I was like, I remember thinking about that at night for a while
The
afterward.
thing just with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Aslan is allegory of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I can see. I Of course you don't know that till like way later when they brought it up or whatever. But I was like, when I saw that, I was like, dude, that was hardcore for TV. It's like a cartoon. They're sacrificing a lion on the show. And I was like, I forget
Talking
how old
like
I was, but I wasn't even like 10 or something. I was like,
yeah,
damn.
just you couldn't handle that sort of stuff. That's like yeah, I remember like the cartoon, the original cartoon they done of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Hmm.
They done BBC done a TV series of it, which I still remember rather fondly. Um, I've never watched like Prince Caspian or the Hunt of the Dawn Treader or whatever it was called, the
Yeah.
Voyage of the Dawn Treader. But yeah, it's really weird because like you had all these like the whole Narnia sort of
Yeah.
universe type. Um, Alice in Wonderland like has got a whole host of books based in Wonderland, but we
Yeah.
only knew about that one, you know. So there's a whole
Yeah,
load of
you know
stuff.
what? That is, I think there was something before that I saw where they were trying to tell some of the other stories from there on some show or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but
I think there's something on
yeah, I
sci-fi.
forget all about that. It's funny that you bring it up because I forgot all about that.
But you know, it's just redoing sci-fi shows. As they, if they do Buck Rogers, if they did Buck Rogers, I would like them to do a cameo with Gil Gerard in it, because they did that with Buster Crabbe in the original 1979 Buck Rogers. They got
Oh
Buster
yeah,
to play a character called Colonel Gordon, because Buster Crabbe played Buck Rogers
God,
in
how do
the
you even remember that stuff? Dude? What is that?
well, because I saw it. I thought, where's it? That's Buster Crabbe, and he played Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers.
Yeah,
So
not true.
those black and white sort of. I actually watched an old Flash Gordon, and they had when they first land on Mongo, and they're walking around, and there's these two iguanas. You know, like in the old movies, they just have, like back screen, and these two iguanas, and they put these like little hats, like these like
Yeah,
hot hats on these iguanas, and they're having a fight. And then in the foreground, you've got like Flash and the crowd going like that behind a rock,
yeah.
hiding iguanas going at each other. Like I thought that was amazing. You know, it was anything, but I can imagine being in the cinema watching it on a Saturday matinee, just going, "That is the greatest thing ever." Two giant lizards fighting as they're sneaking along.
At least, like, at least I was born in this point in history because at least I'll get to see some pretty good animations now. You know, like they can do sci-fi. Like if you were born too late and if you if you died 20 years ago, you missed it. You could have been just getting into good sci-fi and then be like, oh
Everyone
darn.
did.
Yeah, I saw a good some Marvel movies. I saw some Star Wars movies. I got some good sci-fi. I think I can rest in peace. Has some good fantasy. I'm covered.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's Uticus saying about there's an anime called Iron Blooded Orphans. Only watched it for the fight scenes. Killed off every single main character, including the villain. That's cool. Is that that's not a Gundam one, is it?
I
I
never
know the
watched
name.
Gundam. A lot of people talk about Gundam, and I never watched it.
Well, it's big robots with
Yeah,
superpowers.
which is generally yeah.
I've only watched on I think it was on Netflix. They had Gundam Unicorn. I
Hmm.
watched that. I enjoyed it because it's got big robots that have magic powers,
You know
as
what's
you do.
one? So I was half enjoying, and I should get back to watching it because it's one I would. I had never seen it before, but I always loved the visuals. Um, it has Alucard in it. Uh, it's a vampire Helsing. So it's a Helsing cartoon version, and I saw I watched maybe I'm like 7 episodes, 6, 7 episodes in. I that one's quirky enough and I like the pace of the story. I find I'm big on the pace of the story. Like the rhythm is like, okay, if you're telling a story and I dig in it, like I can see a nice arc and there's like I dig that for some reason. And to me, that one, individual episodes do a pretty good job. They're kind of like simple enough to watch, yet there's a little bit of intrigue and stuff. Because as much as I want to like cartoons, I don't like many. I loved go watch Primal if no one's seen Primal. That is like my favorite, probably my one of my favorite cartoons ever, easily. It was awesome. I think he did a wonderful job in storytelling in that thing.
That's what we want to be We want to be entertained.
Entertained.
Yes, Soggy. Tom Zarek was played by Richard Hatch, who was Apollo in the original Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yeah.
Um, he was also he was trying to get Battlestar Galactica made redone for donkey's years. He
Mm-hmm.
literally was trying to get a continuation, but bypassing Galactica 80 because
Yeah.
that was a little bit cheese.
Yeah.
Um, so he was trying to get that done for years, and he had like all the concept art and all that sort of stuff. But it wasn't to be, and they finally gave him a role in the new Battlestar Galactica, even though Dirk Benedict was lined up to be in the new Battlestar, and that fell through because one of the execs didn't like the idea of it, so they cut him out.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But yeah, no, Battlestar was always cool. Trying to think what other ones there might have been. No, then I'm not just getting onto sort of like just thinking over the decades, like since the new millennium, what sort of shows like Lost was like a phenomenon. Then Game of Thrones came in
Yeah. What like?
after and
What,
um,
yeah.
Battlestar.
I mean, so yeah. What are some ones like? Okay, before Battlestar, what was the premier sci-fi series like before the relaunched Battlestar? So you like go back before that. Like, I mean, they had quirky ones. I kind of liked Eureka, but that was kind of like just fluff. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of, like, an actual good.
Because Eureka was tied in with Warehouse 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I started watching Warehouse 13. That was and got so many seasons in. That was quite good. Um, you also had Sliders, which was quite popular.
Okay. Wait,
Um,
Chaos Born Gaming. Which one is this one? Is this one yours? I think this one is Chaos Born Gaming. Okay, no, keep going, Lee. I just wanted to. He was here. I was like, I don't know if I.
yeah, so I'm just going to close the door because it's going to be chilly now. Yeah, so Sliders. There was. So you mentioned Eureka, Warehouse 13, Fringe. Um,
Oh yeah, Fringe was solid.
yeah, you had sort of well, not you had Enterprise. You had this not Discovery. What was the other one? Voyager was still going,
Okay,
and
I
bits
guess
of
some of those would have counted.
and Deep Space Nine had finished in the 90s, I think, and so did obviously the Next Generation. But then you had the Next Generation movies were starting, weren't they?
Yeah.
Uh,
I saw
so you
some of
had all
those and I was like, oh gosh, they had Q on there. And I was like, oh, the concept of Q is so cool, but then you rewatch it now, it's like, man, that is some corny ass stuff, but I love it. Chaos Born Gaming. Let me ask you something. Okay, so this is a Stormcast. Is there any like lightning? Should there be some sort of lightning, or like I see the kind of blue you had on there, which I amplified, and the same with here is like I didn't know if there was like an energy source, so I didn't want to go adding stuff to it. Um, so if you have any thoughts on that or any cares, let me know. I might try to. I was thinking about a little bit of like lightning around the blue part in the spear and this kind of thing. Here's the time lapse. I was messing with this one. I had to drink something.
as Soggy's mentioned about Lex and Stargate as well.
Oh, I heard good things about Lex. Wait, someone also mentioned a show that I didn't watch. Chaosborn says the chat site is making me want to go back and rewatch the new V and Battlestar. The new V I never watched, and I don't know why, because the old V, I love the old V. That one was kind of cool. When that came out, it was kind of that was a for back in the day, that was a big to do. Like V, I remember that. And like, who was it? And what is it? They're lizard people. Oh god.
I still like the fact that the friendly alien Willy was actually Robert Englund, who played Freddy
Oh
Krueger.
yeah, that's right. I can still see his face. I can still see his face. That's
And
funny.
you're going, but that's Freddy Krueger, but he's so nice and sweet and innocent
Yeah.
for a lizard man.
Eutychus, when you head out, have a good evening. Thank you very much for swinging by.
Phil, Phil Lee would have a very strong member of a pub quiz team. I have my moments. I know lots of general knowledge. I do. Um, glow on the
I'm
wings
glad you
is
guys are liking it. So what I did, I don't know if anyone even cares about the technique side of things. I what did I do? So there's basically three sets of this. I have the original, so you can see the wings aren't blurred at all. And then I put it down and I put a little perspective blur so you can see, because I wanted that motion, and I didn't want to get all crazy with it. And then I put over the top, I put back a normal pair of the wings, but I erased some areas. So it gives you the little bit of effect of like some aren't as blurry, because I didn't want it uniformly blurry because that was like a little too much. And if you look, when I added some sections back, it keeps some blur, but I basically added back those inside leaves, inside feathers in that. And then I took a whole nother set of wings, and you can see it really light at the tip there. I like faded it and blurred them a little bit to just kind of get that little bit extra distance on there. And then I kind of I wanted to like radiating, and I don't want to get all crazy because I'm like, I'll start like, let's more sparks and energy. And then by the time I know it's just like a mess of stuff and I went too far. It's like, it's beautiful. Don't try to overwork it. Like you got the nice bright wings that this model had. And I didn't know, I was really thinking about shining the gold more, if she's calling in like a golden lightning bolt or whatever. But I'm like, well, the two things are glowing, so maybe I'll just try to put a little bit of energy around those.
yeah, the
So,
lump sparkle.
oh yeah. So SMC Art said Procreate Perspective Blur, so awesome. I just did a quick video on that. Yeah, it is that. That's one I use a lot. And so, you use Procreate and stuff. I'll have to. I've watched a few of your videos. I'll have to watch some more to kind of see what you're using. I never went like I just figured out what worked for me, but I should really go and watch a bunch of the videos because I guarantee you there's like so much stuff I don't know that would make me a lot better. So I got to start diving into a bunch of that more. I do some, but it's like there's still a lot to learn.
There's always stuff to learn.
You know.
Improve your
Apparently, we're a
skills.
bunch of nerds here, people. We're all talking about TV shows, and we're we're pretty hardcore.
Yeah, just be careful, because that's when I had that troll dude turn up the other week. He was
Oh
just
yeah.
spamming the nerds, nerds, nerds. It was like,
Yeah.
you've got nothing better to do than to go onto a chat just going, nerds, nerds, nerds. You're all
Yeah.
about, honestly. Yes. She's very much mastering the superhero landing, I feel. So, Chaos Born.
Yeah.
It's just a
It's
little
like
rocket.
you had so they had a lot of this was obviously on here because I generally try to base everything on. So it kind of swampy. You can see this branch. They had like the swampy stuff. So I'm like, all right. It's like then to my mind, I was like, use those colors. Don't try to work too much. Too much stuff in like you got the main thing is I wanted the light off the wings and her literally like going. So they had a couple of branches, so I put some more like in the foreground and background, so it was kind of like the last remaining remnants in some swamp, and she just like gets out of there and like does the wing thing, so it's all like brightens the spot or whatever. And yeah, it's thought this would be
I'm thinking like Gandalf when he walks out of Fangorn Forest. When he's just like when he becomes Gandalf the White, that sort of like intense light billowing from hisness.
yeah. Toffee troll. We like the toffee troll.
Eutychus, not going to lie, we're right they were right. We are nerds.
I don't even, yeah, at this point, I don't even care. I'm like, is anyone I really know? I'm like, I'm like, there's no, the only thing I wouldn't care, like friends seeing it or like they know I'm a nerd at heart. I'm like, is there's like some business person to see me like, this guy's a clown.
It's like,
Like, we can't do work with this guy. He's a clown. I'm like, I think I'm safe from that too. I'm all right.
he plays card games.
Yeah, it's like card games. He talks about this dorky stuff every Wednesday. What is he doing with his life? We can't hire that.
See you later, Eutychus.
Bye, Eutychus. Thanks for making it.
But yeah, it's just like I remember I was my total geek moment. It was actually at some sort of family get together, birthday celebration or something like that, and
Yeah.
I was talking to my ex mother-in-law's friend about painting these models and all that sort of stuff, and I went and I had some in my car, so I went and got them to show it, and I remember her saying, "Oh my god, you've actually gone to show me what you've done," sort of thing, and I actually felt really like embarrassed by it. I was like belittled.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't show anyone anything ever again for ages.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
In a horrible way, but it was just the way she said it and came across.
Yeah.
It was like, I wasn't young. I wasn't like a little kid, but I was acting like a little kid. Like, validate me.
Yeah.
Yes. She's part of the
You
Dominion.
can always show me your toys, Lee. I like seeing your Titans all the time.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, we'll be going up to Warhammer World in a few weeks' time.
Really?
With all of my Titans.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, trying to think,
that'll be cool. I'm happy for it. Like, that'll be fun.
Yeah, well, hopefully. It's just I just want to do it. I've been urging myself to do it for ages, and because I haven't got enough room or decent looking like tables to get them all out.
See, wait. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off because he said this. I'd be so tempted to use color dodge on the top of that staff. And see, I think I've seen it before. You mean the layer with color dodge? Is that what you're saying, SMC art? So put a layer on. No, it can't be. Or is it a tool? I'll have to ask you because there's probably something I'm missing, and I would be curious if you know a good technique for that because you probably are right. So if you got anything, type into me. I'll just look it up. I don't want to waste your time. I'll look up color dodge on Procreate. So thank you for that. Chaosborn Gaming says orcs, not killer whales. You're going to need a very wide angle lens.
Yeah. That's the good thing about the iPhone 12. You can do that.
Yeah, they got some great cameras or lenses and stuff on those new iPhones.
Well, hopefully my friend Nigel, who is a photographer anyway, he lives up that way. So I said, like, I'm going up there. Be cool to hang out and stuff, and he'll take photographs as well because he's cool like that.
Yeah.
So with my stuff and whatever stuff he's doing, but he's recently got himself an iPhone 12. I was talking to him last week about it, and he was going, it's actually a really good camera for taking photographs with, with all the little bits and pieces.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's usually, unless you're really trying to super zoom on something or whatever, but in general, I'm like, man, that's more than most people even come close to needing. You know what I mean? Like, there's literally like professional photographers out there who will just use it. It's the same thing with like, Procreate. It's like a $10 program, but you can still get the job done on a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, totally. And as I say, he's a professional photographer chat as well. So like he was like, he was telling me stuff that, oh yeah, you can do this and do that. I went, really?
So yeah, that's cool because I really like your photography, your nature stuff in particular. I think you do excellent with that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so he was my mentor. Funny enough, it's just through hanging out with him when I used to go out to Warhammer World, I'd pick him up. He'd come along. It would either be me playing a game or he. Well, I haven't actually game against him, but he's tagged along to get him out of the house, basically.
Yeah.
He's doing his photographs, and he was like just saying, like, "Oh, this is what you want to do here, or do that,"
Yeah.
and taking what he's told me and utilizing it in my own.
That type of like real time, real world micro instruction is so huge. You know what I mean? Like even like SMT art like just suggested something, and like with that, and you're getting feedback from someone who's good at something, and you get to learn from it
Yeah,
right away. That's a good thing to have
it
around.
parts of your knowledge to help others.
Yeah, for
You know?
real. Oh yeah, see, he could go like that. Good point. That's why I miss too. You used to have a little bit more of like a studio environment, and then
Oh,
when you have other artists around working on stuff and they're talented, like you get that extra feedback that is just like awesome to help.
oh, totally, yeah. There's that being able to sort of like gain
Okay.
inspiration from your sort of co-workers as well.
And
Yeah,
by the
your
way,
peers.
if you want to go eat, buddy, I know you just had a rough day, and we've been here a while, so my vote is you go make sure we need to keep you. You got a lot of work ahead of you, and we need you back. So we got to keep Lee fit and trim.
Well, you say there's no beer, and I've drank all my orange.
I know. That's what I was saying. I'm like, I get worried about like, it's all gone. So we gotta. But no, seriously, if you want to go do your thing,
Yeah, I'm okay. I can go on. I can soldier on.
this has been. I know. There's a little while longer. I did not get as much done as I wanted to, but I'll end up working on some of these like tonight and figuring out some stuff.
Yeah, Chaosborn. All the pictures of my minis now I just take with my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Just covers as much as most cameras without needing to master it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
it's
a really good sort of because my camera phones I get camera phones because of taking minis pictures. So
oh,
I'll
that'd
take
be
care of
fun.
Tuffy.
Yeah,
Um,
and there's so many good ones out there now like that. He's taking his pictures. I'm like, yeah, I seen a bunch of them. It's like the power that you carry around now in your hand with those phones. Like, like I just think of like my tablet. I like run a full scale business right through my tablet, which is like I could theoretically I could almost do everything I can on my phone that I do on this tablet, except the tablet has the bigger screen for drawing. That's it.
yeah. Well, that's what I always thought. Like when they brought out like um, iPods and they had like the iPod threes, the ones with with the screens, touch screen,
Hmm.
and all that. Sort of, and I was looking at that and going, you could just why can't you just do that with a phone?
Yeah.
And the next minute, out comes the iPhone,
Yeah.
which was basically one of those things, but with mobile phone technology, and it just evolved from there. So iPads were just a bigger form of iPhone.
Yeah.
You had the two versions. You had the one that you could make phone calls on, and then the one without.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how it's developed, and everything I do is on my iPhone. So
I know. That's just like so
photo imaging and
nuts.
all that.
It because to come from back in the day, and especially you're that age too, where to get anything serious done, you always needed the PC. You know what I mean? If it was a cool game or an art program, like you ain't doing nothing on no phone or no whatever, And so you always have this. And now it's like you transition and get to this stuff, and
Yeah,
it is a good time. I'm
and
like,
that's
okay, good time to be alive.
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, as I say, like but also with our sort of generations, thankful that we didn't have this technology when we were younger, because obviously
Oh,
there's no evidence of the half the stuff that we used to get up to.
dude,
Um,
100. That's why I feel like I laugh with my friend. Like, dude, we might have been born at like the most perfect time. Like we skated. We're like not sucked into like if you're in a very like we're sucked into no Vietnam stuff. Like you skated in behind all that. Like you got your TV shows and Dungeons and Dragons and
we hit the sweet spot.
yeah. Hopefully get out of it before there's any dystopian future, and I'll call it
Yeah, we don't need none of that. That's not fun.
Yeah, I like my dystopian stuff in game.
And that's as far as it goes.
keep dystopia in game.
Yes. Wow. Glowing wings.
Oh, I will do. See. Yeah, I was gonna say SMC art. Thanks for stopping in. I'm gonna have to catch. I got subscribed. I never know what to do with these things. I think I have to hit the bell to remind me or something when you go live. But I'll watch. I gotta watch some more of your streams and pick up some stuff.
That's the thing. Learn from others.
Heck yeah!
And
I mean, that is
take
that.
that.
This community's so good about that.
Hmm.
There's so
Yeah,
much.
most hobbyists, you can just ask them.
Yeah, that's it. Like everyone's like, oh, this, and then just seeing it. Like, there's so many things I would never think of, and then you just see it, and you're like, oh gosh, that makes sense. And then like in the it sits in the back of your brain, and then you get the right time to use it on something or some effect. And Slow Painter, I think it's just Slow Painter on Twitter. Definitely go. He just did these orcs with this flag, and oh, the banner is one of the coolest banners I've ever seen. First of all, it's massive, and it's like a snotling or something holding it. And it's so funny because the bottom of the flag is like hanging on the snotling's face, almost like it's a hood. So just the mouth is coming through. And the detail he had painted and the precision on that flag is like honestly sick. Like I don't even know how he did it that small. He's like he has 4 different scenes in like what's the way orcs would draw, not hieroglyphics, but whatever that way. But I mean, it's kind of like flawlessly executed. I was looking, I'm like, these are like some of the coolest like hieroglyphic type writings I've ever seen for these things, and they read as a story and everything. I was like, that was just way too intense. I'm like those are the type of things you see and are just like, oh gosh, I question my artistic ability.
So it's I do love orcs in all their shapes and forms. I've never collected them. I've never really gone for them,
Not
and
my
I just
play style.
like green. Too much
Yeah.
green.
Basically, orcs were not my play style and too much to paint. But everything else I love. If it wasn't for those, I would love it. Like I love the look of the army.
Yeah.
Like I think those are top notch.
Yeah, I've got several friends who are really, really big orc boys.
Oh yeah.
They're big orc armies with all their war mammoths and stuff.
Crimson is orky, so is Eru's. We got them amongst us. I respect the orc.
Oh look, you mentioned him and he turns up.
Yeah.
you must have heard the orkiness. There's much orkiness.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, did you see the new Necromunda stuff? Is cool. The Necromunda, there's the terrain. They have a market that is awesome, and then what do they have? The just like a unaffiliated gang members.
Mm.
They have a bunch of those that look good.
A new gang or something, wasn't it? It was like outlaws or something.
Yeah, because they do have a book, and then of course my most popular thing ever. I did this and got like 5,000 likes on Reddit or something. I'm like,
I saw obviously you posted it up, but then I saw somebody, I think it was Hobby Vices, was sharing it as well. Yeah. It's like, it does, because I got tagged because the guy who done the cutout of that little dude, Leaf Cheese, tagged me. He said, "Oh, this is something that Forge of Mars might be interested in," and I did actually take that, and I did do a little thing where I put it on for the Titan work that you did, the last Titan that you did for, and I did it like polishing his foot. And then I went to post it, and I saw your thing. I thought, I can't do better than that. That's the chef's kiss. That is that.
Yeah, that thing. I was just like, oh, wow. And I'm like, of course. And so it's the one thing that's as close to, I don't know if risque is the word, or but my stuff is so like bland and neutral and whatever. I'm like, yeah. And then like here's this this ad that's like everywhere. I'm like, that's typical internet. I'm like, I cracked up. They'll spend time doing something. I'm like, you do the most comical hack job, and it's like, yay. Did any of you guys have Hero Quest? I did not. My friend had it and played through there. And then I did. I think they had some app version or whatever that I used to just putz around with because I like the Hero Quest thing or whatever.
Yeah, I played it. A friend had Hero Quest, and so I played it through him.
I know that was the
And
nice thing about having friends with games
yeah,
because
it was
then you wouldn't have to
nice
buy every single game.
changeling. I like being barbarian in that. The guy who's on the front of. Oh, actually, that was Advanced Hero Quest. Sorry, that was the barbarian on the front. Doing the full Conan with the two-handed sword thing.
Uh,
Apparently, I don't have to paint orcs green.
No, I did
I know.
see a couple funky colors that I liked. But that's one of those things where I'd always be scared because I'm like, I would want to do something a little different than green
Hmm.
because you could probably do
Well,
some.
I like painting, my things to. It's like with my Titans, where I was actually when I got in, um, um, my other half's mum, she's got a little art room, and she was painting like
Yeah,
a picture on the wall that she was copying and basically for like art thing and all that. And she was asking me questions. So like, when you paint your thing, do you just paint them how you want to paint them, or do you sort of
yeah,
like do them somehow that this person doesn't? I was well, I see the artwork and then I copy that and maybe do my own little interpretation of it. But I like to if I'm collecting a Legio Ignatum Battle Titan, I want it to look like the artwork that you
yeah,
see in Legio.
absolutely.
So yeah, I'm not one of these people. Yeah, whether or not I don't have that kind of imaginative creativity to do that sort of thing, but I like them to look how they should look.
Yeah, yeah. No, especially if you're going with like a something scheme or whatever, then absolutely, why not? I
Yeah,
think
I like them.
yeah, and I think generally how I would operate is sometimes I would take, even if I like Space Wolves, I might just do like a Space Wolves thing with my own spin on it. You know what I mean? Like maybe rearrange, like okay, you're some whatever chapter or something, just to do something a little different.
Yeah, mix
And
it
I
up.
think we might call it good here in a few. I'll end up finishing up later. It was a fun chat as usual. And thanks to everybody. Like somewhere the last left. Yep, still standing. So I appreciate you all stopping by. We'll let Lee get a little relaxation and go eat before he can do it all over again.
I was just
And
thinking
then
about little the guy with the polishing in against that last bottle, giving that polish.
yeah, put him in there. Just like yeah, he could go right in the front, just like rubbing that one. Like, hang on, guys, I got this.
I'm just polishing it. I'll just put these up. I'm just polishing it.
just a little bit before you shoot it. I am gonna end here. Thanks again, guys. Lee, hang around for 1 second after the show. I'm gonna end. I will see you all next week, and probably in between then.